Hey guys, my name is Denton Fisher. I'm a professional dating coach. I have winged thousands of clients and I've approached way too many women to count. What I'm about to show you has helped out thousands of men and hopefully it will do the same for you. If you want better results with the opposite sex, this is your video.
Yo, bitch, I got some buzzes clawing at my fucking stomach.
I'm running a bootcamp in a little over a month in Austin, Texas. August 5th through the 7th. You will be going out 6 hours a day with one of the world's greatest dating coaches. I've worked with multiple companies. The girls in Austin are gorgeous. 6th Street is incredible. If you are interested, text 702-841-9909. My first couple years of doing this, I thought it was completely about the way you looked. But I told myself that if I just talked to enough girls, that one of them would like me, that one of them would say yes to me. So I went on my journey to go find my wife, to go find a girlfriend. And I would go out day after day and go say hi, hello, ask for a phone number, get rejected. And it was brutal. It was brutal for a very long time. But then I started seeing little things here and there. I started seeing where maybe I would be in a good headspace. And when I was in a good headspace, as opposed to the other days where the girls wouldn't give me the time of day, all of a sudden they started liking me. All of a sudden, every girl I would say hi to was all over me. And the more I did this every day, maybe I'd start off in a bad mood. But as my mood got better and better, I would find that the women would reciprocate my energy and even be more and more attracted to me as my energy and my own mood would improve. As I stopped being negative, as I stopped being depressed, as I stopped being nervous, and instead I replaced these with confidence, as I replaced these with just happy, fun energy, laughter, the women were starting to chase me. The women were actually trying to get me on dates. The very first thing I realized was that women don't just care about looks, they care a lot about status. And I don't mean status necessarily of things, because that's not what it is. It's status of personality. Let me explain. So while I was practicing for this job, I'd have times where I would approach hundreds of girls in a day just to work on my social skills. And I would have a clicker where I'd click, 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 and I would mark down every time I'd approach just to keep track of this. And I'd approach over 100 girls a day. And those days where I was just out of it, where maybe the first girl was just really cruel or I just approached a bad seed, I would go in a downward spiral of emotions. Some of you guys have probably felt this, where your emotional headspace just starts dropping and dropping and dropping. You start beating yourself up. Guess what happens? I would get rejected by over 100 girls, and it was cruel and unusual punishment. It was terrible. It's not something I would wish upon you or my worst enemy. And then I would have days where I would just go out and the very first girl I talked to loved the shit out of me. And it all came back around to my emotional headspace, the way I believed in myself, to the way I moved, to the way I spoke, to the way that I looked at her. That's the thing that matters. Have you ever been that idiot in a bar who's trying to impress a girl with the things you have, with the people you know? How does that ever go? Does it ever work? The chances are, fuck no, it never worked. So then what do I mean by status? So, do men like you? Do men look at you as a leader, somebody to be respected? Are you somebody that feels confident and comfortable around other men? Do they like you? Do people want to be around you? Do people want to be within your energy? Now, do women like you? Now, any guy that has ever been in a situation where a girl in a club or a bar or a party started liking you, what happened next? All of a sudden, all the other women started trying to chase you down too. Maybe you got a girlfriend or a wife, and all of a sudden, now you're finding that women want to try to come after you. Maybe now you find that girls want to try to date you. This is called pre-selection. Girls like men that are surrounded by other women. It is subconscious. It is more of a biological drive than anything else, and women will seek these men out. The next one is less intuitive. Do you speak in a way that says you have status? If you take any man that is considered attractive to women versus any man that is considered the opposite, and you compare their speech patterns, there is a definitive difference in the ways that they speak. One uses pauses. One speaks high in their throat and through their nose. One speaks in a monotone voice or even a building rapport tone that sounds salesy as opposed to sounding authentic, which is breaking rapport tone. The one that you want to go for is breaking rapport tone. This says, I am free of outcome and I don't need you, because they believe in their value, because they have status. Do they have a languid way of speaking? The expressiveness of their voice. Can they vary the tone, the pitch, the volume? All these things are indicatory of a person that can be authentic and be themselves and doesn't need an outcome. Do they move in a way that says they have status? Do they have moments of stillness, while also having the ability to be open and expressive? Have loose body language as opposed to rigid, unwielding body language where their shoulders are hiked up all the time? Do they have a loose, relaxed face? Is their face expressive while also not being supplicating. By supplicating, I mean, are they trying for rapport? Are they trying to get you to like them? Are they smiling when they don't really feel like smiling? Are they just not expressive whatsoever? Are they repressed? There is a fine balance, and whichever direction you lean in, you want to find the middle ground. If you're suppressed, you want to become more supplicating. If you're more too supplicating, you want to try to become more suppressed. But there are people who have all these things and still are not any which way good with the opposite sex. So what does this mean? Again, the action and the ego matters a lot. The ego being who you think you are. So a lot of men, they come to this thinking they're lower status than the women. If they talk to a girl that's very attractive, even though they're winning on all metrics, they will still come across lower value than the girl, and they will repel her away and scare her off. You have to believe that you're higher status than any girl you could talk to, that you are a bad motherfucker, that you're the man of the conversation. If you don't feel comfortable saying you're a man, that is something you need to get under your belt and figure out. Girls don't want to date boys, they want to date men. Do you believe in yourself? Do you think of yourself as being a high quality individual? Are you worthy of love? Do you believe that those girls, that you deserve them? That you deserve this quality of women? Or are you constantly shooting your results down and fucking yourself over, stuttering, getting your head, and just self-sabotaging when you come across a girl you truly find attractive? So what I learned was women don't just care about looks. To be fair, I would argue that they mainly care about the stuff I just mentioned in this video right here. They care about status. They care about your value. That is what makes you attractive. Everything else they'll backwards rationalize. If you are the individual that I described in this video, they will go after you. They will chase you down. Now, if you want to try this for yourself, get yourself out there, start approaching, start talking to girls. There is nothing wrong with this. If you want to start working on your social skills. I can remember where I was going out for 2 months and I was just getting rejected. And then one day I was looking in the mirror and I wanted to cry. I was in the pits of hell and I was just like, fuck this. I don't want to do this again. And I told myself, fuck it. If you're going to go out and get rejected, why don't you get rejected on your terms? So I went to the club and I had the time of my life. And guess what happened? Every girl liked me. I made out with a few girls. I grabbed some phone numbers. I didn't take a girl home. Not that night. But I learned a valuable lesson. I learned that it was never about the girl. It was always about me. When it came down to attraction, it was not about her. It's not about manipulating the girl. It's not about trying to get her to like you. It's about manipulating yourself. It's about teaching yourself to be that kind of individual that she would want to go after. Are you the kind of guy that you would date? Are you the kind of individual that you would see as being a high value partner for a girl? If the answer is no, then it's time to work on yourself. Now, with that being said, peace.